Hi, everyone. Good morning. We will go ahead and get started. I see people are still signing on, and we are also recording this. I'll upload it to YouTube, so we'll do it as the same as the other more formal webinars. For today, we are going to pick up sort of where we left off on the other webinar that we did, because we didn't get all the way through. And then I will be answering some questions that I've already seen coming in that are sort of like frequently asked questions. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. All right, so the first thing I want to point out today is that there is a slight change to our matches. So it was like breaking news. I will share this, I will update the matches sheet and send this out. So what happened Tuesday afternoon, right after I sent the matches information and confirmed the print guide, all of that was sent to the printers. We got a breaking news item. We have a new match added to the final day of the challenge. As you can see, this is very exciting. So we are excited to share. Oh wait, I need to make an update. Okay, so I'm going to give, this will be a quick demonstration even on how easy Canva is to use. So that will be like another session. So and then change the color. We'll do another session on Canva once I get those like icons and stuff to upload from the graphic designer. Again, she just uploaded the all the files to the printer for the print guide. We're working on some print ads that are going out, but then there are a lot of cute like elements that we can pull out from the print guide that we'll be able to use for like social media and all that stuff. So I'll teach you how to upload those into Canva and make cute like social media and email graphics and all that. So anyway, we have a slight change to, actually a huge change, to Friday, December 1st matches. The Marksberry Family Foundation $60,000 match is now the Good Morning match, and that will start at 6 a.m. that morning and go until 11:59 a.m., so just before noon. And that will go again until the pool is exhausted. But this is a 50 cents on the dollar match on gifts up to $500. Then we are extending that match through the whole day, thanks to Chris Stapleton and his wife, Morgan Stapleton. They have a fund at BGCF, and this is their Outlaw State of Kind Hometown Fund. They are putting up a $100,000 match, their encore match, from noon until midnight till the challenge ends. And that's a 50 cents on the dollar match on gifts up to $500. So it's the same match all day long. It's just two different match pools, $160,000 total. Very exciting. I'm super excited about this. So I meant to add, if you have questions, you can drop them in the Q&A, or if you want to like ask it verbally, you can just put that in there and I can grant you permission, I think, to speak. Since this is a webinar, we can work that out, but just drop your questions in the Q&A section of the Zoom. So what this means is there'll also be a slight change that the Bryant Fund bedtime match, we're going to change that from 25,000 to 13,000, and that will be on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. So that's going to be like in addition to the Murray family pool on Monday. And again, I will send all this updated information out. And then so we're going to take half of that Bryant Fund and have that as a bedtime match on the initial day of the challenge. So on the first day of the challenge, you'll have the Murray Foundation pro rata pool. You'll have, that's $100,000 pro rata pool that will be divided based on the amount your organization raises that day. You'll have the Given to the Groovolution, that's the Given to the Groove Foundation. They are doing $11,000 in random prizes that will go throughout the day. So we'll do drawings of $1,011, like once every hour throughout the day. Those will be posted on the prize leaderboard, and then we'll also share those on social media as the day goes on. Then at 9 p.m. you'll have that Bryant Fund $13,000 bedtime match, and we're doing $13,000 because this is the 13th annual Good Giving Challenge. Then we're taking the rest of that prize pool, that match pool from the Bryant Fund, and we're going to use that for prizes at the wrap party, which you will get information and an invitation to. That will be the final day of the challenge from like 3 to 6 p.m. I think is what we did last year. That will be at West 6th Brewing. We encourage nonprofits to come out, your fans, supporters, board members to come out, and we'll be doing like prizes there. We did that last year. It was really fun. And that's just a way, it's a fun way to like celebrate the end of a busy week. We'll have snacks, and there'll be drinks from West 6 available. And we also invite the media to come out. So it's a really great way to we kick off the challenge with the Philanthropy Party press conference on Tuesday, and then we'll have that wrap party. So it's a nice bookend event. And the media will come to both. So it's a really nice way to get more exposure for us and get that last push for giving. So very exciting change. I had heard that it might happen, and we got the confirmation Tuesday afternoon. So I will update the matches and prizes. I will send that out in email, and I will upload it to the resources page. So very exciting. So that puts us over 700,000 in prizes. I need to do all the math. And then I've heard about we have some sponsors of like some little prizes that will come out. So I will provide, I don't have the details of all of them yet, but we will share those as we know more. So it's very exciting. That's why it's important to like stay tuned. These things evolve, and especially as we get closer to the challenge, more groups hear about it and want to know how to participate. So, we always accept more prize and match money, but, the best laid plans, we have it set early on, and it always changes later. So, all right. So we're going to jump back into the tips for success. I think I had to cut it short last time, so we'll just go through some of these. And then I really want to do the profile, showing you how to update your profile on BG Gives, because I've had some questions about that. So first, when you log in, be sure you're checking the resource center. I try to include a digest sort of all of the toolkits and logos and everything in the in every email that I send out, because I always just like copy the most recent email. I do those in MailChimp. I copy them so they're all there, just so it's easy for you to access in like every email that you get from us. But they're also all in this resource center in BG Gives. And then you filter by BGCF toolkits. Neon One has some toolkits that they provide, but all of ours are in the BGCF toolkits. So I'm just going to go through this quickly, because I think we did cover some of these, and then I want to be able to have time to show you where they are on your profile. So I've had a lot of questions about like setting goals and if you get matches from board members or other donors. Actually, I'll just go ahead and show you where that is now. Let's dive into the BG Gives profile, and then we'll take a look. Okay, so this is, I have a test organization. It's just like not a real nonprofit, but it's in here so that I can show you how things look as we update. So I want to go through all of these elements. So we encourage everyone to, all nonprofits, we provide matches. We work really hard, literally year round, on securing these matches. We throw a lot of pitches out there to different, businesses, organizations, individuals, people who have funds at BGCF or family foundations. So we work really hard to get these matches lined up, but we also encourage all of the organizations to secure your own matches. And how that works is, I've heard groups already have board members lined up to give a match, or they have a repeat donor who wants to incentivize more giving by giving a match. So we really encourage you to all have your own matches, because then, gifts could be essentially like get double the match, depending on when gifts are made and how your donors matches work. excuse me. So how those matches work also is totally up to you. It's between you and the donor. So we will not, if you have your own match, we only track matches that come through BGCF. So if you have a donor that is agreeing to do like a dollar for dollar match up to $1,000, we'll just make it easy. It is up to you to decide, you and the donor, to say, hey, we've hit $1,000 in donations. Now the match is met. And then it's between you and your donor how you want to pay. So I only say that because we won't be tracking your matches as well. That's up to you and the discretion of your donor. Sometimes donors put up a match and they're going to give you the money anyway. Sometimes that happens, and they just want to be able to incentivize the giving. So it's really between you and the donor when you feel like that match has been met. You have tools to track that, and I can show you how those work. But it's really between the two of you. And it's up to you and the donor how they want to pay the match. So they can, if the match has been met during the challenge, or it's, you know, a portion of it has been met and they want to pay a portion of the match, again, that's up to you and the donor. They can pay online. They can make a gift online during the challenge and potentially have that gift matched as well. So that if you're doing the math, could be like that's significant, right? Or they can pay you outside of the challenge. If they want to send you a check, you know, sometimes donors, they have complicated scenarios. That's between you all. They can pay online during the challenge. It could be added to your total giving. It could be potentially matched as well, or they can pay you outside of that. That's totally however you and the donor want to do it. There are a couple of tools that you can use to indicate that you have a match, and I'll show you those now. So when you log into your profile here, this is like what you see. This is like the dashboard. So you can have a goal. These were questions that I think came up during the registration process, and we just kind of skipped those, right? So you can do an event goal process. If you have a goal of like, we hope to raise $5,000, you could enter that here. Oh, okay. This is all, once you click on one of these update things, it gives you everything. So if your goal is $5,000, okay, you could put that there, or you could do number of donations, however you want to do it. But if you have matching funds and you want to put them here, this is how you will do it. So your matching fund goal, let's say $1,000. And then I guess you don't have to put that there. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. So secured any matching funds yet? You would put yes, and then say $1,000. And then you could say, some donors want to be anonymous. We have some donors like credit, some don't. So you could say anonymous donor here and then submit. And then let's see. Okay, that's not on the public profile yet, but once giving starts, that will be there. And it will have, there will be like a ticker here. I will have to find, it's kind of confusing because some of the elements of the site aren't visible until giving mode starts. We're in like countdown mode now. But you can see here, you've updated that goal, $1,000. You have a match there. Another place you can do that is, okay, so you go to your public profile. I would put it also here if you want to put details of it. Okay, so we edit it. We're going to edit our public profile. And then we're going to the alert text. And you could say an anonymous donor has generously provided a dollar for dollar match up to 1,000. And you can put any wording here, however you want to. So I'm just going to update that here. And so you can see where that also goes over here. So it looks like line breaks are not recognized. So again, there's really nothing you can do here that will mess anything up irrevocably. So you can go in and kind of play around and experiment and see how things look and change them and tweak them. And then kind of like refresh and see how they look. So you can see here an anonymous donor has generously provided a dollar for dollar match up to $1,000. So that's one place you can put that match and kind of explain how the match works. So that way when donors go to your profile, they'll see that right away and they'll know, oh, I'm getting even more bang for my buck by giving to this organization during this time. You could also, yeah, I mean, sometimes board members, if something they could also do is create a fundraising page. That's like the peer-to-peer fundraiser. Oh, I don't want to do that right now. They would go to your profile and click fundraise, and they can create a profile, a peer fundraising profile at any time to help promote their match. The thing is, if donors don't give through their specific fundraising page link, then it won't be added to the tally of that page's match goal. Does that make sense? So like if they give to the organization using the donate link that will show up here, it won't show up on the fundraising page match. So that's not a great way to do a huge match because all gifts might not be like added to that page. It's kind of hard to explain that right now. I will find, let's see, give where you live. I think that's a giving. I just had a call with, I don't think that's the one. There is an example. I'll find it. It's, I had an example from our Neon One account manager that had a great example of a giving page that had some different elements on it. Try and bring that sheet of paper in here. I think Brazos Gives was one that was going on now. Brazos Valley Gives, or maybe it just happened. Something you can. Okay, so this is an example of one that's getting ready to start. Brazos Valley Gives. I think it's a lot of fun to look at different giving campaigns similar to the GoodGiving Challenge and kind of see what other groups do, see how they work. I want to see. So you can see here. So this is a great example. So like right now, if you look at the GoodGiving Challenge homepage, this is the mode we are in. It is countdown mode. So it's giving us a countdown to the start of the GoodGiving Challenge on November 28th at 9 a.m. Once giving starts that day, it will look different. It will look more like this one that you see here, except it will say giving is now open, and it will have a ticker here of how much has been raised so far. It will have this counter, how many donations to how many organizations. There will be a donate button right here. And then this ticker, I think how we have this one is it populates the logos of the organizations that are getting gifts in real time. So this is pretty similar to how ours will look when the challenge starts. So then when you click on that donate button, it will take you to all of the organizations, and that's like what ours looks like now if you click on search for nonprofits, right? It's pretty much the same. But I just wanted to give an example of how it will look. We'll just look at this one. I don't like that. Okay, so you can see here, if you click on learn more, it will take you to this public profile page like we had here. I want to have that test organization up. Like we have here for ours. If they click, okay, and you can see here where we have that fundraise button, and that's how a donor would go in and create a peer-to-peer fundraiser. fundraising page. Then once the challenge starts, there will be a donate now button that also shows up right there. And then this is how a page looks that has more copy images there. And then when donors click on donate now, this is what will happen. So you can see how that looks. It's hard to, people always want to know, like, well, where is the donate button? Well, it doesn't show up until giving is open. So right now it just says fundraise, but that's what it will look like. What I would love to see is, okay, so stay on task. There's just so much to talk about within this system. It's hard to stay focused, but I was talking about the matches. The other thing that I really want you to think about is donation levels. And let's see if we can find an example over here, because our giving site isn't open. It's open, but it's not showing the giving. Okay. So you can see here these donation levels. If you add a donation level of, let's say, $25, we'll say 1 bag of food for a family. This is just an example. Oh, no dollar signs there. All right, we'll try that again. So that you can add as many as you want. Whatever different amounts you would like. What are your goals? 25, 50, 100, 200, whatever. You could go as high as you want to. And so that will show you that when a donor clicks on donate now, these will pre-populate. Otherwise, they're just going to have this like blank that they need to fill in. And, you're just kind of leaving it to them. But I think this is really nice because, it might bump people up to the next giving level. And I know a lot of organizations already have these filled in. I think that's wonderful. But I would think hard about like what levels you are hoping people to give at, and then how you can like incentivize those and describe the impact of those. So these are also the questions that will come up. First time donor, anonymous. We asked everyone if they would like to increase the donation to cover fees. They can select if it's in honor of somebody, then they add it to the cart. I'm just doing this as a test so you can see. This is kind of fun. And then you can see here, you can add, I like to say it's just like online shopping. So you go in, you can click donate to another organization, and you can see here, they did not have those donation amounts pre-populated. So this is what shows up if you don't do that. You add it to your cart, and then you can check out all at once. Here, this is, they call it, I don't know what the exact title of this is. In the past years, we have asked for donations for a fund at BGCF. This year, we're going to do like a share the love thing, where we're going to have a pool. People can add $10, and then that pool will be split evenly between all 195 organizations. A lot of the times people will ask like, what if I don't know who I want to give to? Well, this is an option that you can do. So that's what we're doing this year in this little extra part. It's not automatically added. That's something people have to elect to do. So then you would just like continue through checkout. Donors can make an account. They don't have to. If they just want like a historical record of donations, they would do that here. The nice thing is, on the first day of the challenge, we used to have matches that were like $1 for dollar or 50 cents on the dollar match as soon as the challenge started. And there was a lot of panic about like donors couldn't remember their login information, all that. It's nice that the first day of the challenge, we do have that pro rata match. So it's not as panicked right when the challenge starts. But we do not, it's similar as with nonprofit login information. BGCF does not maintain donor login information. If they can't remember their password, it's just like anything else on the internet. They need to request a new password, or they can log in as a guest. It's really not a big deal. And if they have tons of trouble logging in, then they need to do this Neon One support using this button down here. So that's sort of like how the site looks when giving is open. it's kind of cool that this organization has this going on right now, so we can see how that looks. But that's how that looks once the challenge starts. But that's kind of the benefit, again, of the donation levels, because if you pre-populate those, when a donor goes to your page, those will already be there and they could just click and add those to their cart. If you don't have those populated, they have to type in the amount. On multimedia, you can see here, that's what shows up here. It is super easy to add those. I would just demonstrate. We'll say we're doing a picture. There is a size limit on those images, so just keep that in mind. We'll see what kind of random stuff I have on my desktop here. I guess we'll add this picture of the scholarship recipient. You can add a title here. I don't think that shows up on the homepage, so it could be whatever. And then you can see it's that easy. And then if you go over here, that photo shows up immediately. You can also delete that. And then it's the same as for if you want to add videos. I will say the videos have to be public. They can't be like a private video. And you would just click on the link to the YouTube video, put that in there, say it's YouTube, and design. If I could spell, submit. What? Oh, I put this in the wrong spot. And design. Again, can't spell. And you can see here, that shows up right away. So it's super easy to add those other elements to your profile. Events, I wouldn't really worry about that. Volunteering, that's up to you if you want to put anything there. I would keep it pretty simple. I would focus on donations. I mean, that's what the point of this is. Documents, you don't need to worry about documents. I don't know what that is. And then contacts, that's the primary contact, like that goes here. There's a couple other things I want to point out while we're in BG Gives, while we're logged in here. Fundraisers. So when nonprofits, when your donors, board members, your staff can even do them. If you want to have a fundraising page, they will all show up here. We might have to do this as another session just because there are resources on BG Gives about how to create a fundraiser page. Neon One has put these together. There's instructions step-by-step for how to create these, what they can do, how to monitor them. These are under the FAQs, peer fundraiser instructions. So it's super easy. Share this with like your board, and share it if you have some big donors and you think they would use this tool. And you can see previous year fundraisers as well. Reach out to them, see if they'll do it again. Because then you can see here, I'll show you some examples. I'm sure some groups have already started making them. Yep. So you can see here when you search for nonprofits and then go to fundraisers, they all show up here. And you can see here, they can be all different goals. And then it makes a really nice, this is how they look once they're created. You can add your own images, you can create, put your text here, and it makes a really easy link for your donors to share in email, on social media. It's like that customized link. And we've had groups, sometimes there's a nonprofit who's like, oh, I can think of one who's executive director, like her birthday is always during the GoodGiving challenge or in December. And she will do like, help me celebrate my birthday by giving to my organization. You could have board members do it. Like maybe they all have like a very attainable goal of like $250 because that adds up. And just encourage them to do it. Some nonprofits do like project-based fundraising pages. Like they have a goal of like a project they want to be done, and it helps illustrate like we can, if help us get a new sandbox for $500, or we need a new computer in our main office, $1,000. So it really helps like illustrate what your needs are and how people can help. I don't think you have to worry about like donor intent with those. I think, you know, the funds could go to anything, but it really makes it a nice way to like set different goals and then illustrate what those goals are and how important they are. As the challenge gets nearer, I would continue to monitor those and see, like, I know that more will be created. I wonder if they have donate. Theirs is just different than ours. So you can see here some examples of different fundraiser pages. See, this group, they have a lot. These are all in alpha. Okay, so you can see numbers, yeah. There, it's still in early giving though, so but you could see some examples here. These are not very exciting. Never mind. Just think about how you could do these. It's a great tool, and those instructions again are on the website. So you can see those all here. I've had several questions about how do I get donation information from previous years. You will log in and you'll come up here to my donations. So it has started automatically filtering by year here. So because giving hasn't started yet, there is nothing showing up here. But if you were to filter, these are all the test, Neon One does a lot of like test donations leading up to the challenge, just to make sure everything's working properly. So you can see here, you can filter by year, and it will have all those coming in there. So you can just like look at them. If you have a donor who needs a receipt, this is good to know. You can send the receipt this way. You can just go in, find your donor, click on send receipt, and that will resend the email to them. We highly encourage you, obviously, to go in and export this donor information, upload it into your email platforms. Be sure you've added them. If you're doing like a print mailing, be sure to add them to your mailing list. And also think about how you can use this information after the challenge to send thank you information. You'll also get email notifications in real time as donations come in, and you can thank people that way, or you can export these like at the end of every day. I think that's really nice when I make a gift during the challenge and I get almost an immediate acknowledgement. I mean, you can send like a quick email that's like, thank you for your donation, and then you can do something more formal later. But I do think it is really nice when those are acknowledged very quickly. And donors do notice when they are not thanked. So I would be sure to come up with a plan now of how you're going to do that. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be expensive. As long as you're acknowledging that those gifts are made, that goes a long way. And remember, we send the charitable tax receipt from BGCF. You don't need to do that. All you need to do is worry about how you're going to thank your donors. The other question that I get is, how do we add users to our profile? There's a lot of turnover in nonprofits. That's just how it works. So they'll say like, well, all the emails are going to our executive director and they're no longer here. How do we make sure we're getting emails? So there's kind of two things. One, you need to make sure that people in your organization who are currently in your organization have their own login. Whoever needs to be logged into this, that's how they should not be using a former employee's login information, because those emails are going to that person. That's confusing. I just wouldn't do it that way. If somebody has a login to your organization, they need to go in here, go to my users, add a new user. Okay. They add the first name, last name, email, submit. That will trigger an email to that new user, to that email address, for them to create a password, and they'll create a profile here. It would also be a good idea if you want them to get emails. I will show you webinar. There's a link in, because I have already so how we know who to contact is like when I send out our weekly emails that have like the webinar information, the matches, all that stuff, I export a list from BG Gives. That is every user, every active user affiliated within an organization like this, okay? I export those, I've already exported those and sent those over to MailChimp. I don't really do that throughout the course of the fall, just because most of the time it's very few people who are added on. I would encourage you, okay, I'm going to move this over here and hopefully you'll be able to see the most recent email I sent out. Okay, so we have, this is the email that I sent out that had the webinar recording, the webinar reminder. Again, see, this is how I put all the logos in every email. And then also have someone in your organization who needs to receive these emails, sign them up here. So this is a MailChimp campaign page. You can go here and add them in here to make sure they're getting our MailChimp thing. So sorry, I know it's really two places. One, they need the login for BG Gives because they'll need to be able to access all the information. And then also they need to be added to our MailChimp list. So that's that. That's how you add users and make sure your users are up to date. And again, here's the resource center. And filter by BGCF. And there we go. There is one thing, I am not seeing any questions. If you have questions, be sure to add them into the chat, or I mean the Q&A, or if you have like comments, you can put them in the chat. And I'm monitoring those as we go on. A couple other things. One, I will send a separate email out about this, but I do want to cover it today while we're on our webinar because I am recording these, sending these out as well. So one thing that we are doing this year that is new. We are offering early giving. We have never done that before for a couple of reasons. One is because Neon One has changed how early giving works. Early giving will start November 14th. And again, I'll put all of this in an email and I'll have a separate sheet about it. Early giving will go from November 14th, I think, until the challenge starts. I need to confirm if it's like the day before, but I think it's until like right before. As of right now, we do not have a match pool secured for that time period of giving. We are working on it. We used to never offer this. It used to be scheduled giving. I don't want to get confusing, but it used to be scheduled giving. So donors could go in, schedule a gift to be processed when the challenge started at 9 a.m. Donors got confused. Well, one, it didn't work for BGCF because of the matches that we provide. We didn't want early giving. We didn't want scheduled giving to happen and then muck up our match pools that we have going live. We have donors a lot of the times who might be traveling internationally. They won't be able to make a gift for whatever reason. It also helps as I am doing promotion of the Good Giving Challenge. We do a lot of media promotion in the weeks ahead of the challenge. And so it'll be really easy for us to say, hey, the Good Giving Challenge, the fund starts on November 28th. We have 750,000 in matches and prizes available during that time. But if you can't give later, you can go on and give now. And how that will work is just almost exactly how this Brazos Valley Gives is working, except for one thing. On November 14th, I'm pretty sure it will be 9 a.m. But again, I will confirm this in the one pager. I just had a call about this for the first time like 2 days ago. So we're still kind of like working out the kinks. On November 14th, there will be a button down here that says early giving starts now, or early giving now. I don't know. Give early now. I don't know what exactly it'll say. Early giving is now open, I guess. And then it'll say click here to give. What will not be there is this ticker. We won't have that yet. It'll still be countdown to the Good Giving Challenge, the official kickoff. Because I mean, that's the event. Like, that's the fun thing. Early giving is a nice like perk, but we are really focusing our activities and energy on the Good Giving Challenge those 4 days, correct? So it will still be the countdown clock. Under here, it will say, there'll be a button that says like early giving is now open, click here to give or something. And then it will take you to the nonprofit pages. Donate now buttons will be open. Again, like I said, we're working on getting a match pool for that. It's not guaranteed. And I don't know, it might be a couple weeks before we know that. And we have not promoted this to donors yet, because again, we are still trying to really focus on working out the kinks, how it will work, but we will be letting people know that they could go on and give at that time. So instead of how the scheduled gifts work, it will be a gift made in real time. If somebody goes on November 14th and makes a gift, it will be posted as a November 14th gift. That will not, as it stands right now, be eligible for matches. So until we know we have a match available, you may not want to promote it. It's just something we're trying out this year. We're always trying to like use new tools, try to make it bigger and better than ever. So we're just trying this out this year, and hopefully a match pool will help us make that really successful. Again, we're working on it. So you can see here, what I don't know, and I will ask our rep, I don't know how it will look for each organization. Like these might have fundraising tickers already active. I will, in my document, I'm going to ask Maylin how the nonprofit profiles will look during early giving, because I want to know if you will have this individual ticker here. So you can see here, this group has raised $152 and they have match remaining. You can see that's how that match will show up when you click. There I am. When you've added your matching funds here and you have your goal here, you can add that's how this will look. Where did that go? Too many tabs. This is my my toxic trait for sure. Too many tabs open. But that's how that will look there. If you get multiple matches, you might just need to do like a cumulative match. So if you have like $1,000 match from one donor, $1,000 match from another donor, you would just need to add that together and say $2,000 match, I would think. And you can have more information over here. So that is another change that is happening this year, that we are offering that early giving, but I don't know if those early giving donation tallies will be there or not. I will confirm that. And there's just a lot of things that come up as you're like, as you're thinking about it, as you're going through it, and then you realize in real time, like, oh, how would that look? So the other thing is, so then when the challenge starts on November 28th at 9 a.m., this will have a fundraising ticker here, like Brazos Valley, and it will start. It will, instead of starting at 0, we're going to start with that lump sum of whatever was given during the early giving period. So that's kind of exciting. Everyone will start the challenge off with a little, we'll have like a little boost in the fundraising total. So hopefully it will be a success. And I will share a sheet on how all that will work very soon. I'm still kind of like discovering how it works myself, because I thought they were scheduled gifts as well, but they're not. It's gifts in real time. So it's exciting. We'll see how that goes. Again, I did not get through much more of the profile. We're almost out of time. I will go through next week. What I'll go through is some of the tools that we use. Hopefully we'll have some of the elements from Paige, our graphic designer, to go over how to use Canva, how to use different tools like Buffer or MailChimp, things like that. Are there any questions? Would anybody, are you able to raise your hand? Or if you have a question, do you want to drop it in the chat or the Q&A, and I will look at that. I'm sure I can find, I'll leave a couple minutes open for questions. But these are things just to think about. And as you have board meetings that are going on now, we highly encourage you to start getting your board engaged in this process. And if you have board members who have given to you in the during the challenge before, some people just get it. Some people are super into it. And they really want it. I think it's a great idea to have like a little task force of your board members. I do the same thing of like, let's have, let's do a lunch or a breakfast. It could be a brown bag, they can bring their own. You don't have to spend any money on it, but just to brainstorm different strategies for how you're going to make the challenge the best that it can be. I think that's worth it. One thing that I think is important too, as you download that donor information from previous years, I would split that up between, board members and have them reach out to different donors and, say, oh my gosh, we were so thankful for your, we're so thankful for your past gift. We really hope you do it again. So that is something you could get board members started on now. Then have them create those fundraising pages. That's something they can do. And again, those step-by-step instructions are right here. A question came in. I will answer it live. All right, fundraiser pages. So it is a little confusing. Funds that come into, so the question is, they were asking for clarification on what I said. She says, were you saying that anything donated through a fundraiser page does not apply to match funds? No. What I was saying is, if anything that comes in through a fundraiser page, that's a donation to, I wish I could show how this works, but this thing doesn't have okay. So, your donors, if they have a fundraiser page, and when your fundraiser pages show up, you will be able to see which donations came through fundraiser pages. Okay. And sometimes donors will say, oh, well, I have a fundraiser page, and I know somebody gave, but it's not showing up on my fundraiser page information. Well, that could be because the donor went through and gave just through like the general, like I'll show you. I'll try to find an organization here who has a fundraiser page to show you what I sort of mean. Let's see if they have no. I'm just trying to illustrate this. Okay. So so for Unbound Now, I don't know what that is, but if they, if I clicked on donate through this fundraiser page and gave that the person who created that fundraiser will have records of all those donations that come in through their fundraiser page. And then they also have their own individual like fundraising tally. But if I went to Unbound Now's page and just gave to them, not using this fundraiser link, it won't, but I saw that like Ashley McClintock, she's fundraising for Unbound Now. But if I just go straight to the Unbound Now page and give that way, not through this link, it won't be added to her fundraising here. So what I was saying is, if you have a match, you could illustrate that you have a match using a fundraiser page. So if you had like $1,000 match, and that's how you wanted to say we have a match. But if somebody gives on just your general page and not through the fundraiser page, it won't show that gift is made towards this match. It will still go towards your match. You get everything that comes through a fundraiser page, but it just like won't be counted against that match tally. And I think I've confused the issue here. I don't know if I'm okay. So you can see here, like Unbound Now has raised this much money. They have a match here. I think this is the best place to put a match, because if I were to give using this link, if the match was here and then I gave using this donate now button instead of this donate now button, it won't show up on this fundraising page tally. I don't know if that made sense. I'm sorry. You can give me a call after if I have totally confused the issue. So this is great for like individual fundraising. you know, if your board member has a goal of $500, they share this link out. That's awesome. I think the fundraiser pages are great tools, but I would just say that's the only thing about, if you have a match, I would put it in that match spot here. Because if you only use it as a fundraiser page, where did that fundraiser page go? Then it only goes like it. If gifts don't come through on this link and instead come through on this link, it could be confusing. I don't know. I've totally mucked it up. Miranda, give me a call if I have confused you even further. Fundraiser pages are great tools, but to track a match, like every gift would have to come through on this page to be added to this total. Instead of, I mean, this is just the easiest way. Everything that comes through the fundraiser pages are eligible for matches. They're still eligible, just a matter of like where it's showing up. Sometimes donors get confused. I mean, Neon One can go in on the back end and like reallocate things to fundraiser pages, but that's very tedious. And I just don't think that's the way to track a big match. But these are great for board members and your biggest fans. Fundraiser pages. So this $21 is included in this $879. But if everything that comes into a fundraiser page goes into the big ticker. But not everything that goes into the big ticker would go in here. I've confused it. Miranda, let's talk. Everything that comes in through a fundraiser page is eligible for matches, goes towards your main fundraising tally. It's just a tool. It's not a foolproof way of tracking if you have a match. If you have satisfied a match with your donor. Because if they don't give, we'll talk. I'm so sorry. It's kind of confusing. So are there any other questions before we wrap up today? We talked about how to update your BG Gives profile. We talked about where to plug in matches. We talked a little bit about fundraiser pages. I confused some things. We talked about early giving and how that will look. We showed some examples here of the Brazos Valley Give, so you can see how that will look sort of once giving starts. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And then next week, we will talk about some different tools you can use: Canva, Buffer, MailChimp, other scheduling things just to make your life easier. We will talk about next week. I'm going to preview just some slight cosmetic changes that are going to be happening to BG Gives, and I will share some info on how that will look. It's nothing to freak out about. It will just be slightly like the homepage is going to be a little different. It's just going to be different how the pages look. Like after, one thing I know is that like the donate buttons, the donate levels will show up all the time. It won't just be when Gives mode is on. So there'll just be like little changes like that, and I'll know more next week, but I will preview those I think Tuesday, and then I will share information about how those look next Thursday. So stay tuned. Every week we'll try to have new information, and then if you have anything that you would like to see covered in a particular week, shoot me an email, and I can add it to my list that I have ongoing of things we'll talk about. So anyway, I hope you all have a great rest of the day, and let me know if you have any questions at any time. Sometimes email is the best way to get me, Lauren@bgcf.org, and I will see you all next week. Thanks.